Welcome, fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. Let me take you back to October 2016, when I got on Kickstarter and saw that there was a game that I was slightly interested in. I had the old version of it, and this was a new version coming up. It was promised to be delivered in 2017. Well, here we are, 4 years and 4 months later, and this is it! Mutant Chronicles, Siege of the Citadel. It's finally arrived 4 years and 4 months later. Yeah, that took a long time to get here. Now, this was kickstarted, as I said, 4 years and 4... Oh, no, I've said that, haven't I? This was kickstarted a long time ago, and at the time I was very excited about it. Right now, it's taken so long, I'm not sure if I'm quite as excited as I used to be. But it raised over $600,000 at the time. Had lots of backers and a lot of interest, and really there were times there where I thought it would never show up, but it finally did. So yeah, this is it, the core set, and this is really all I need to play this particular game. I don't need anything more whatsoever. Oh, hello. Okay, this is the Brotherhood expansion. Yeah, I suppose that's probably quite handy. I could do with that. Lunar PD. Some extra thing. I probably don't need this. I'm not really that interested. Oh. Okay, yeah, the Doomtrooper bonus pack. Thank you. Thanks very much, Dark Apostle. I don't know what... Oh Lord. Dark Legion bonus pack. And there's this thing as well. Help! There's too much stuff! You're probably wondering who's handing all this stuff to me off screen. It is my buddy Minty. Hello! Say hello. Yeah. Minty's come over for a gaming weekend from Wellington, and we've been playing some excellent games, and he is very kind because he's going to join in the unboxing experience.
My first unboxing ever.
I know, he's unboxing virgin. This should be fun.
Be kind.
Well, here it is, the original Mutant Chronicles. This is 1993, Minty.
93, that takes me back.
Yep. I don't know what I was doing in 93, but I can't remember. This is the inside of it. It had these very colourful things. This was like a cross-like thing that set up in the middle of the board. It was very 3D-like. And it had miniatures, of course, in here.
High-quality miniatures.
Yeah, they're kind of HeroScape scope level. This is kind of HeroScape era. Space Crusade, the sci-fi successor to HeroQuest, was done in 1990. This was 1993. And Mutant Chronicles was based on a Swedish role-playing game called Mutant Chronicles that was released in the same year. And it's gone on to spawn a whole lot of stuff, though never really hit the mainstream.
No. I must admit, I didn't know too much about it until this all turned up.
Yeah, so there was a film. There was actually a film called Mutant Chronicles, which really had nothing to do with Mutant Chronicles. It was kind of a gritty... alternative World War II kind of semi-sci-fi kind of drama, low budget, whereas this is very much about future. There's 5 corporations which are kind of based on Europe, Japan, America, things like that. They're big corporations, and they're fighting against a sort of dark legion of kind of necro warriors and things like that.
Classic tale, really.
Yeah, it's a classic tale. Boy meets girl. Girl becomes
a necromancer, dark skeleton.
Yeah, fights zombies, everybody dies. Gothic weirdness.
Some of this stuff is quite lovely, though. I mean, these bits are quite, the plastic kind of detailing and everything.
Yeah, the plastic boards are great. I love these plastic boards. Yeah,
but now
that's all very well. Now I might point out I've never actually played that game, not once. But for some reason, I did decide to sign up for the Modifius. If that's how you pronounce it, it is Modifius, isn't it?
I'd say that's right.
Yeah, they did. What did Modifius do? They've done mainly role-playing stuff before, and a few board games. So this one, I must say, I'm going to say this for the last time now and get it out of the way. I was not happy about the fact that this took 4 years and 4 months to get to me, and I don't think I would back anything that they do on Kickstarter again. But if this game turns out to be absolutely amazing, I may change that opinion.
You should change that opinion. It's not about the time, it's about the quality.
It was a long time.
Oh, come on, it's a speck of grain of sand in the time of the universe.
Unfortunately, yeah. I'm not going to live as long as the universe.
True. So. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Will this change opinions?
Here's the back, and immediately when I look at this, I'm reminded of like Fantasy Flight of about 4 years ago, which is not a coincidence. If you could pass me that box cutter somewhere, we can unbox this.
Box cutter.
Thank you, sir. It's like an operation, isn't it? Let's have a look inside.
The first bit of shrink wrap.
It's exciting, isn't it? I know. I love it. You know, it's really nice to share this experience with someone. I usually do it alone. Here we go. Oh, would you like to do the honours, sir?
Oh, here we go. The careful reveal if I can get the lid actually off.
It's often tricky.
It's coming.
Right. It's your first time mentioning it.
But dun dun dun.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
We've got a rule book. It's one of these big old square rule books that no one ever makes anymore. I promised I wouldn't mention that again. But whoa, okay.
Okay, full component list. That's nice.
That's good.
A visual component list is always good.
Yep. Lots of stuff. Yep. Oh, it really is like a Fantasy Flight game, isn't it? It really does have that feel straight away. You can see design cues taken from that kind of thing. And wow, there's quite a lot of rules. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so complex. Now, this is 1 to 5 players. I think it is 1 versus many, but there are also co-op rules as well.
It sounded like one person would take the role of the evil baddie.
Yep. Classic.
At times, so maybe that passed through, and it's everybody against the game.
Oh yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, you're all playing together, but one person takes on the role of the bad guy either once or alternates. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll see how we go. We've got a mission book, and look, this artwork really is, you know, it is kind of 90s artwork, isn't it? The colours are so bright, and it's kind of that time. So missions, decent amount of missions there. They look relatively complex. Wow.
There's quite a few missions.
There is. Oh, and here's our old Doomtroopers, which are the good guys. And as you can see, they're divided into different colours, which are the different corporations.
I've always thought Doomtroopers was an excellent name for good guys. We bring the
Doomtroopers. Yes. Oh, good. The Doomtroopers are here. Fantastic.
Oh, and there's the Kickstarter backers. Can you find yourself?
Well, I wonder, am I under my name? Or, yeah, it looks like first names. So let's look. I'm sure this is fascinating for the viewers at home. But there it is, Peter Gifford.
Woohoo!
Right there, down there. There's the proof.
That alone
is
worth the wait.
And all the money. Yep, that's definitely worth it. Okay, this looked like a sheet of stickers. I'm not sure what this is for, but there you go. Miniatures right on the top here. Okay, there's quite a few. We'll look at those in more detail later because that'll take a bit more fiddling about. But we've got a tray of miniatures. And look, they've carried on the idea of the original plastic dashboards by making plastic dashboards for these ones as well.
Obviously, with a bit of health counter, there must be some little toggles to put in those.
And a promotion track as well. Mm-hmm. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Now, this is very nice. I get to hand these to Minty, and then he places them. Oh, here we are. These are the things that we stick in those markers. Yep. Couple of large miniatures. We'll look at those in just a moment. We've got some custom dice here, a pack of those. And that looks like your classic just blanks and hits kind of arrangement. A deck of cards.
I just checked, and these custom dice are pretty much the same as in the original game. So it looks like they're using similar rules, very similar.
That's interesting. This is actually by Richard Borg, who created Memoir 44 and the whole Command and
Colours.
Yeah. This tray comes out, and we've got... Okay. Wow. A lot of tiles. Here we go. Look at that.
How thick and chunky are those?
Thick. That's some pretty chunky... We'll look at those in a moment. Heaps of cards down the bottom. Lots of Ziploc bags. That's generous. And we've got... Wow. This many cards. So let's go into more detail with this stuff. So a big old stack of room tiles here, and this one obviously is covered in blood, and there's a big pit of blood.
Leading to a worldwide shortage in the colour red.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, there's lots of stuff on them, isn't there? They're busy. This looks like a counter sheet. There we go.
Another counter sheet.
Another counter sheet. There we go. The same one. Wow, it's also bright and colourful. It's a assault on the eyes, really. I don't know, I guess lately, because more modern game design tends to be careful choices of colour palettes and all that kind of stuff, and classy. This is like balls to the wall.
I think if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I'm kind of vibing on it. And it's only going to get even brighter.
Oh, really?
1 second.
Oh,
dun.
What the?
How awesome is that?
Yeah. Well, what I like about this game is the subtlety. I don't know about you. It's definitely coming across. It really is 16-year-old heavy metal feel, isn't it?
Well, having grown up on the movie Heavy Metal, I can't complain.
Yep. And if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it. Really go for it. And any game where the good guys are called Doomtroopers deserves a bit of garish art, I think. Oh my goodness, it's so bright.
Okay.
Wow. Well, it's a bit of a change from the kind of grim and gritty stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting excited about it.
It's going to be back to our youth, isn't it? Wow. Oh, the purples, the greens. Wow. I think we're going to have to wear sunglasses playing this game. Here we go. And, another subtle one there. It's like 1980s fantasy art that you hang on your wall.
It's fantastic. A little mini puzzle there as well, if you connect the green line.
I really hope not. Imagine walking into this room. Oh whoops, trip. Oh, there you
fabulous.
Go. Nice. Okay, these are all the cards that come in the core set. It's a whole lot of stuff here. Up the top here, we've got character cards, and these have big, bright and bold illustrations of these different characters. 3 from each faction, it looks like. Kind of pretty cartoony kind of artwork, but Sean Gallagher, I don't know, when I think of heroes in far-off sci-fi settings, I don't think of Sean Gallagher. When I think of Sean Gallagher, I think of the guy who I met in school and I did maths with or something.
And became an accountant.
Yeah. It's not an Edward S. Murdoch. Selena Kingsfield, that's a little bit more exciting. There we go. We've got Coral Beach, which is an unusual name. Okay.
A bit of comedy element there. We're going for puns in the names now.
Vince Diamond. And Laurie Faust. That's all right. Then we've got Mitch Hunter. Yeah, Mitch Hunter. I think I've got a feeling I know which way Mitch Hunter would vote. What do you reckon?
I just think they missed an opportunity. Minty Hunter was definitely the name, not Mitch.
That would have been much better. Big Bob Watts. And Angelina Drake. Wow, this is really old school, isn't it? Valerie Duval, she sounds like an actress. Max Steiner and Carl Lind. Strange name choices, aren't they?
Yeah. Some of them aren't particularly evocative.
No. We've got some... These are door cards, I believe.
They are indeed. I think you can set off a trap when you go through a door or...
Oh, tentacle trap. I like that. Shrapnel burst. Oh, and of course, door opens. What are these?
They would be equipment cards.
Okay, equipment cards.
And look, they've got equipment on the back.
They do. Tentacle kit, of course. Swords. All kinds of weapons. Plasma carbines. The usual kind of variety of weapons and stuff. They're really into tentacles, aren't they? There's a tentacle combo. Talon combo. Violator combo. Oh dear. Nimrod autocannon. Okay. So, a lot of variety there. What are these ones with the eye on them?
The eye, of course, are the AI. So if you're not choosing a Dark Corporation player, the AI can drive the game and it can turn into a full co-op or a solo game.
Oh, so you can play solo against the AI of the game. Right,
yeah.
There you go. That's interesting. We've got a few quick start cards here. Probably just for setup and stuff, and a reference card. What are these?
Those ones are secondary missions, so a way of getting extra bonus points to win as one of the Doomtrooper factions.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there we go. These ones...
They are the Doomtrooper cards.
Uh-huh. Oh, molecular phasing, firestorm. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. Spectral displacement, teleportation, coming through, tactics, initiative. There you go, and all the little illustrations, action scenes. Great stuff.
The medicine injector as well.
Yep.
That's...
Got to
tells you what medicine. It does.
Yep. That, I believe, injects the medicine.
These would be the event cards.
The event cards. And these happen every turn, do they?
Yes, I think once every round, yes.
Okay. Oh, look, this is the one I like. A moment of respite.
No event.
Respite, probably rather than...
It looks like it has a dual purpose as reinforcements as well, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good. And down here we have...
Those would be the force cards. They are the dark corporation player, bringing in forces onto the board.
Okay. And we've basically got pictures of the miniatures on them there. There we go. And then finally, this one here.
That one there would be the rank cards.
Oh, okay, so is this for campaigns?
This may be for the campaign where you get promotion points if you successfully complete a mission.
Okay.
And so you can level up throughout the campaign.
So apparently in this game, you each choose a corporation, but then you take turns playing the bad guy as you go through the campaign of different games.
Indeed.
Right, gotcha. Okay, there are all the cards. What do we look at now? Miniatures.
Minis it is.
So here we are about to go through the miniatures. A strange storage system. We've got this one tray, which is good. Some of them are in these individual pockets, but then some of them, when there's a multiple types of one type, they'll put one type in the tray and then the rest just go into this little well here. But I don't usually keep these trays anyway. I usually, if they're just plastic figures and I give them a quick paint job, I tend to make a foam core insert and throw them all in. But if you're looking for every individual figure to be protected by a tray, they haven't set it up that way. There's just a well for the extra ones to go into here. So that's not a big concern for me. It might be for some people. I don't know.
All right. You want to start with the factions?
These are the factions.
You hold in your hands one of the Cybertronic Doomtroopers.
Okay, and these have coloured bases, of course, to show which faction they are. Give me another.
Have another. Have one of the Imperial Doomtroopers.
And you can see very much the huge shoulder pads look, which was popularised by 2000 AD and then pretty much borrowed by Games Workshop for their Space Marines. It's a big look.
And by 80s corporate fashion as well, I believe.
Which ones?
80s corporate fashion.
Yes.
You know, large
80s,
shoulder pads.
Yes, large shoulder pads.
Large hair.
Yeah, it's very much the look of the time. I don't know, imagine really trying to fight anything with shoulder pads like that. It'd just be ridiculous. But there you go, that's the look of Mutant Chronicles. And really, hand me another.
Indeed. Let's go for... who haven't we had? Here we go. This would be one of the Bauhaus.
The miniatures are okay. They've got an acceptable level of detail, but as you can see, the proportions are a little bit, funny, a little janky. The whole thing does have a bit of a retro feel. I wouldn't really put that up to modern standards in board games now and the realism that they have in sculptures these days. But I think for a game like this, which is, as I said, really revelling in the 90s retro feel, they kind of match that. I mean, nothing here is blowing me away, but they're acceptable. I don't think I'll spend too much time painting these.
Shall we move on to some of the Dark Corporation?
Yes.
That will be one of the Legionnaires, of which there are 12.
There's 12 of these. So, a pretty bog standard fighter figure there. There we go, slightly. Only 2 of these Razids. I mean, what is that? Yeah, it's big guns, big shoulder pads, big 80s, 90s.
And of course, you should have a bayonet on the end of your automatic weapon.
Of course, because you'll be getting into close combat. And also have one totally exposed shoulder and one protected by a hugely outsized shoulder pad.
1982 fashion, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting a bit larger with these miniatures.
Okay, this is a weird looking thing. Look at the size of that gun, will you? It is just ridiculous. And also wielding a huge scythe and a tail and carapace chitinous armour and stuff. Oh, this is the famous Exoghoul, I don't know how you pronounce it. A weird looking thing. It's like a kind of centaur with a carapace and a lizard head and a ridiculously stupid big gun.
And 2 very functional short arms at the front.
Arms, like a kangaroo that had sex with a...
T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah, nice one. Very weird looking thing. Doesn't do much for me, I've got to say. I don't know about you.
I find it difficult to judge because you have so many games with so many astonishing miniatures that you've painted to such an incredible level. So, yes, at this stage they're uninspiring, but I know maybe your artistry can bring this to...
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
No, I don't think even I'm that talented. Oh, it's fine.
They're fine. They're standard.
Yeah.
They're just not super exciting.
I don't think this is a game that you're going into wanting cutting edge stuff. This is a 90s flashback, beer and pretzels kind of shoot 'em up, I reckon.
I agree.
So we showed them everything in the way of...
I think in terms of...
Yep.
There are a couple of extra little...
couple of characters, but you get the idea. They're all big and muscly and, dynamic poses. And, there you go. Oh, show me that green guy, bad guy there. Of course, some bit of samurai sword action. There's a bit of Mad Max in there too, mohawks, all that kind of thing. He's a bad guy.
I did miss him because he was in the box.
Yeah.
Yes. In amongst all the Doomtroopers, there was one extra character.
Oh, there you go.
And they're from your Mishima Doomtroopers, so a bit of a Japanese influence.
Yep. Yeah, a bit of cyberpunk in there as well. Well, there we go. We've done the core set.
Let's move on to expansions.
Well, expansion number 1. This one's called Lunar PD, and we've both just had a quick look at the back, and it's told us that it basically introduces the brave men and women of the Lunar Police Department to Siege of the Citadel games. New rules, new missions, the bowels of the city, and it's also got some extra rules like critical injury rules and a new deadly enemy and all that kind of stuff. So, as I said, more of the same, really.
I'm excited because it says that Luna is the heart of human civilization and it towers towards the heavens.
No.
So I'm looking forward to things towering towards the heavens.
That's the one thing we've missed so far is that big 3D board field that the first one had. They haven't had that.
No, not at this stage.
No 3D elements as yet. So we've got a rules and mission book and more stuff. And of course I will be summarising the rules, the core rules at least, for the Esoteric Order of Gamers and making them available on the Order of Gamers website. There we go, new missions, all that kind of stuff. Lunar PD. We've got some more of these, or one more of those plastic boards.
Superb. So I've got some little markers for that as well.
Yeah, and, more miniatures and cards, really. So let's have a look at the minis first this time. Right, this thing is, what's it called?
A Zenithian Soul Slayer.
Of course it is. A Zenithian Soul Slayer, there it is. That's I don't mind that figure, that one's not too bad. Then, what's this thing called?
That one is a Twisted Marionette.
That's kind of creepy, that's a sort of...
I'm quite impressed by that one.
Yeah, bio-horror with a sort of plant-like feel as well, that's creepy.
We've got some Heretics. There are 6 of these.
Okay. They're just a bit shaky with their human modelling, aren't they? It just looks a bit sort of clunky with the humans for some reason.
3 Lunar PD Doomtroopers coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
That's
with a very, very big police badge on their shoulder pads.
I think that's Detective Vance Ryder. This is Freelancer McBride.
Freelancer McBride, signing in. Shoulder pads optional.
And I was hoping this one was Officer Arson.
Officer Arson.
Unfortunately, it's Officer Arsini.
Oh, Arsini, okay. Right. What's this?
That's a Templar.
Oh, that just looks ridiculous. What the... I'm just carrying around this huge gun that's as big as my body. With one hand. There's a little bit of... What, it's trying to be a knight or something? I don't know.
I think that's
that it?
That's pretty much it for this one.
And we've got, of course, more of these figures. There's several more of these figures, but the same style.
Some Dread dice, which may be a new element to the game.
Oh, okay. Yep. And then some cards. We've got a whole stack of cards. Again, the same types that we've gone through before, but a lot more. Those ones there. These ones, which are these are the force cards or the bad guys. There you go. We've got these
Secondary
ones.
objectives.
Secondary objectives. Thank you. Gee, it's really good having another person unboxing with me. They're actually handing me things and reminding me what these things are.
These are the rank cards, so that will be the progression as well.
Yep. Oops, another one of those. Yep. We've got some
Vance Ryder,
Freelancer McBride,
and of course,
and he's got the classic little sort of grey bit on the temple.
Salt and pepper, the George Clooney of the future.
And Officer Arson, who will forever be Officer Arson. What is Officer Arse, really? There we go. That's 3 new characters.
Right, some new things. This would be Dark Manifestation cards.
Dark Manifestations. Okay. Acidic, dominable creature, cunning, electric. Oh, okay. They've got horrible abilities.
It feels like maybe they make custom adaptations to monsters that are already out or creatures you're fighting.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm starting to lean into this a little bit. I'm starting to feel it.
Well, let me lean you in further with critical injury cards.
Oh, I don't know what's going on there, but it looks very, very painful. And we have, yes, here it is, broken arms, concussion, dislocated shoulders, gut shots. Oh, ringing ears, oh no! Oh, people, I haven't told you, but I suffered from this condition about 1.5 years ago, tinnitus, which was the worst thing that ever happened to me. It was horrible, but luckily I recovered to some extent.
And this box does not come with a trigger warning for you, Peter, I'm afraid.
That's exactly right. I needed a trigger warning for that. That freaks me out just seeing it. Anyway, let's move on to nerve pain and trauma. I guess, and rattled nerves.
Rattled nerves.
There we go.
I wouldn't have called rattled nerves a critical injury, but you know.
No, I'm slightly upset. Slightly disturbed. So there's some cards there. There's some more of these
equipment.
ones. More equipment. Wow. Gee, I hope this game's good because it's got a lot of stuff in it. We got there, and of course a quick start card. And that's everything you get in Lunar PD. So a lot of extra stuff there, a slightly different feel. I have read online that there isn't a whole lot of background material in the core game or in the other games to explain the whole universe of Mutant Chronicles, which is weird. And you know why it's weird? Because every Mutant Chronicles thing I've seen has not really described the background of the Mutant Chronicles universe very well, except perhaps the role-playing game, of course, the original role-playing game. So it's funny that they didn't explain that a little bit better.
It is strange to have such a game that's so clearly set with a theme and a style, and then not give a textual sense of that theme.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway.
They have done a little bit here in terms of, in these scenarios, there's some specific Lunar PD incident reports.
So there's bits of sort of fluff text and you know, call-outs and things, but there's no real sort of slabs of text describing what the universe is like.
But it's nice to see they had, you know, devoted a whole page on each scenario to that.
Okay, that's Lunar PD. Next one. So, you sick of unboxing yet, Minty?
No, I'm excited.
I know, it's
Brotherhood.
fun. It's fun. He's already ripped the shrink wrap off this one. He couldn't help himself.
Couldn't wait.
Get that lid off.
Get the lid off. It's the task I... Oh, look, brilliant. I'm getting better.
I actually will occasionally do something like pick something up and flip through it like this. The rulebook for the Brotherhood expansion. More minis, more cards, more stuff. It's Kickstarter madness, really, isn't it? I must admit, I don't know about you. Have you been a big Kickstarter backer these days? I
have backed quite a few Kickstarters in my time.
Yeah? I'm doing less these days, only because the shipping is so expensive to New Zealand.
That's certainly what I found, yeah. It's bizarre to pay $30 for a card game and then $35 for shipping.
It is, yes. And also because they are taking so long these days. And not that I'm going to mention that this one took 4 years and 4 months. I wouldn't mention that again, but... They do tend to take a long time these days. Oh, another dashboard. We've got heaps of those now.
Dashboard City.
And here we go, more minis and cards. What do we do first, minis or cards?
I think we'll start with minis.
Let's do it.
We've got 3 new Brotherhood Doomtroopers. Okay. I was going to start with the pink ones.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Okay, we're starting off with the miniatures. Now, this one is the Brotherhood, and this one, one game that I've neglected to mention is the Mutant Chronicles game that Fantasy Flight made, which was a real aberration. They made a sort of tabletop miniatures game, but it was on a hex board.
Okay. And
the miniatures were like 56mm scale. They were large scale.
How long ago was this?
Roughly 10 years ago, maybe. Okay. Maybe a bit less than that. I've actually got quite a bit of it. I bought a couple of the core sets and a few of the extra miniatures. And it is quite fun. In fact, we should play it after this.
Okay, let's do that.
But the miniatures were large scale and they were really kind of chunky and toy-like. And they were pre-painted, which was unusual, very unusual for the time. But a kind of rough pre-painted job. And they looked very toy-like and the whole thing was a bit of a flop, I think. But one thing I do remember from that is these sort of priest-like figures with these dome-like heads.
Oh, you've got Nicodemus there. That is Crenshaw. It's a very
Crenshaw.
strange name matching system. Nicodemus and Crenshaw.
Yeah, Nicodemus is great. Crenshaw is like, the guy who sells you the milk down at the...
Indeed, or
Shop.
that you might meet at a bar.
Yeah. Actually, more like the guy who comes and does, the locksmith.
Yes.
Crenshaw the locksmith. Smith.
Well, and to add to that, there's Maria Costellinus.
Okay.
So everybody else gets one name, she gets two.
Yep.
Yeah, some of their thematic matching is a little interesting.
What's this one here?
That there would be, there's only one, and it's the Valpurgius.
I don't even know what's happening here. It's like there's souls in his cloak or something, is it? Is that the idea?
The soles in his feet. Classic pun.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Apologies for that one.
What's this one here?
That would be, there's two curators, so that I guess they're curating things. It's nice, even the librarians around.
Yeah, okay, and they've got some kind of strange headgear. What's going on with their head?
Is this a bit of a top knot thing going on?
I don't know, I have my eyes.
That, of course, is a behemoth.
Oh, that is just, look at that. It's just so 90s. It's just, I'm leaning into it. I kind of love it. Look at that. That's just silly. It is silly.
It is silly fun.
That is like a classic Games Workshop, late 80s, early 90s sword there and face. It takes me back. I think that's quite kind of cute.
Well, if you thought that was late 90s, wait till you meet the Harbinger of Void.
Look at that. It's straight out of Doom. I actually love that figure. That's great.
It's got the spider legs going. It's got the back-mounted double cannons.
We just played a game of Far Cry, and there was a figure in that had two weapons for arms, and I was just thinking, how do they go to the toilet and wipe their own bum? What, or have dinner? How do they function as human beings? It's impossible. It's like, imagine when you go to scratch your nose and a Gatling gun comes up and hits you in the head. Must be very annoying.
But I kind of love it.
Maybe they're drip fed or something. I don't know.
We're getting a bit more swamp thingy here, but these are Algeroth Malignants.
Oh, gee, that rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. But yes, there's more of them there, and then maybe this is... Oh, no, that's another one. The textured back is kind of a little bit spiking out the back.
You don't want to step on that in the middle of the night, do you? How many of those? There's 5 of those.
There appears to be...
6?
6 indeed.
6, okay. What else we got?
Here we go. That would be a brass apocalypse.
A brass apocalypse. I got brass apocalypse. I got rhythm. I got that. Yeah, sorry.
Right over my head, that reference. But
The Pretenders. What are you talking about? Brass in pocket. Oh,
all right.
I don't know. He's younger than me. I don't know. Just not the same generation. It's just he's too young.
A Calistonian intruder. The usual issue of, again, as Peter pointed out, trying to scratch your nose when you've got a buzzsaw for a hand.
No, I think he's holding that. I don't know if it's actually attached. Yeah, he might be throwing it like a discus.
Okay, all right.
Another one of those. How many of those have we got?
We've got 4 of those, and I think that kind of rounds everything out as far as the miniatures go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at the cards. Okay, let's get started. We've, of course, got lots of new equipment.
Ooh, the
Eruptor.
20 Eruptor.
Symbol of light. This has got a sort of more of a kind of cultish, religious kind of feel. Yeah, take that.
Yes, sir. Again, some more secondary objectives.
Living on the edge. Living on the edge. There we go.
10 more event cards.
More event cards. A deal you can't resist. Yep.
And some more Doomtrooper cards for this particular faction. The Brotherhood faction.
The only thing I'm a bit disappointed about in this set is that there's not more of those kind of religious figures with the dome heads and everything. I kind of, for some reason, I associate that with Mutant Chronicles, but there's only one of them. There's probably a reason for that.
Force cards again, bringing in the specific units for the Dark player.
There. Oh, that one's called the Something from Beyond. Yep, that's about right.
Then we get to the cards that are a bit new. So there's some corruption cards for the Dark player. These particular ones are Dark Consequences.
Dark Consequences. See? It's not about choice, it's about dark consequences.
Twisted Fate.
Oh, Adrenal Spike. Oh, Dark Potency. Ooh. Insidious Regeneration. Wow, okay.
Okay.
They look good. Oh, hold on, there's a different back on this one, so they're slightly different. there's those ones, and then there's those ones. There you go.
All right. And there are also some Dark Temptation. Oh, we've got to find out what the Dark Temptations are.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm often tempted to make a sudden movement. Shadows of Corruption, Out of the Shadows, Resilient. They're not very tempting, are they? Trip. Oh, there's been many a dark night of the soul when I've been tempted to trip.
Indeed. If there's one thing that puts...
That's more like it. Wave of hopelessness.
Okay, we got
now
somewhere.
we're talking. Corrupt equipment? Ooh. Yeah.
Encouraged growth. I'm not sure. What was the rating on this? It's R16?
Yeah, pain and agony. Now that's
okay, there we go. All right, so some dark consequences there.
Yeah. I thought, was that temptations or consequences?
Sorry, my bad. That was Dark Temptations.
Yeah, I don't know if trip is really a temptation, but anyway. Is that it? Oh, hold on. We've got the hero cards.
Ah, yes.
There's Mortificator Crenshaw.
He was only listed as Crenshaw. He didn't get a first name
Is it Mortificator
or a title?
Mortificator? Inquisitor Nicodemus. This is very 2000 AD. I don't know. Did you read 2000 AD?
I read a little bit of yes. Back in the day.
There was a cartoon in 2000 or a series in 2000 AD which was very much Inquisitors and stuff. I forget what it was called. Judge Dredd? No, it wasn't Judge Dredd. It was a different one.
Okay.
And it had Inquisitors. Really, really detailed artwork. I forget. Anyway, someone out there in YouTube land can tell me about that. There's Maria, who's obviously they're all a bit religious looking. There you go. Well, that looks interesting. It's getting a bit more interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
What have we got now? We've got a whole lot of expansion stuff now, just extra bonus packs and things. Let's have a quick look through that. So what have we got here? Dark Legion bonus pack.
A slightly more minimalist look to the box.
I know, they're saving money now, but this is probably extras and things. Oh, it's heavy though. There's a lot in it.
It does look like it's quite heavy.
Yeah. As you may have guessed, I sort of paid for all this 4 years and 4 months ago. And then I pretty much forgot all about it, except for the occasional trip to the Kickstarter page to grumble about the fact that it wasn't here yet. So I haven't really paid too much attention to the actual game and what I paid for. So this is all a bit of a surprise.
You might have got this back when, currency exchange was fantastic and shipping wasn't ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
Did you get asked for extra shipping?
No, I don't think I did. So they must have lost a lot of money on shipping. Wow, that's a good point. Look at this. Wow.
We're getting some big chunky miniatures.
This is a lot of extra stuff. So we've got another one of these boards and a lot of miniatures and, oh my God, more cards. Look at this. Wow.
Okay. Is this possibly a 6-player? Because of how many extra characters you're getting.
But there's no extra rules.
No.
I don't know what they're doing. Maybe it's just variety to add to the other expansions.
It's quite possibly when we get into the cards we might find out that the Brotherhood factions have different characters that have different abilities.
Right, so while Minty's there just doing the hard work of unpacking the cards, I'm just going to flip through some of these figures. And certainly got a lot to do here. I'm going to have to come up with some way of painting these really fast because, wow, there's a lot of them. And I don't want to spend too much time on doing them because they're plain pieces rather than spectacular pieces for display or anything like that. Big guns. Look at the size of that gun and those strange bodily proportions. It's very.
Well, I think they're going the sniper rifle there, aren't they?
Yeah, but look at her waist. So tiny.
Much like mine.
Is that a moustache? No, I don't know what's going on.
It is, I think, because if I pass you the correct card, I think you'll find... Is that Jake Kramer?
That does look like... What? Yes, okay. Who's that dude?
He's in the PD, so I think he's
just like a chubby old guy with a handlebar moustache.
Hey, he'll shoot you or beat you to death with a donut, one or the other.
Okay.
Lunar PD, that's how they roll.
Yeah, right here.
We've got a Sergeant Carter as well. We seem to be, and these all seem to be with the different factions.
So I guess it just gives you more choice when you're playing your 10,000 games of Mutant Chronicles.
Yojimbo,
Christos the Mystic, Attila the Third, not the Hun, but the Third.
And these, I'm unsure. We don't actually have... there wasn't a rule set in here or a booklet or anything like that. So, just opening... Oh,
No, wait,
hold
there's more
on,
down the
wait.
bottom. He's found more down the bottom.
Possibly. There's... Oh, it's looking like boards, though, rather than...
It is... Oh, wow. Oh, hold on.
Okay, we'll wait.
Let's finish the miniatures.
I got excited and jumped ahead.
Minty, I know this is your first unboxing and, you know, you don't know how we do things around here, but we try and do them in order.
I'll slowly understand how this works.
But you're doing a very good job.
Hurrah.
You're the enthusiastic counter to my cynicism.
Well, I feel like we've only had to wait, how long? 4 years and 4 months for this to turn up, so it's a doddle.
Well, I'm not really known for my lack of enthusiasm. I'm usually pretty enthusiastic when I unbox things. So we've got some more there.
You want to get into some of the bigger, chunkier, or are you going to...
Sure, let me just do this one. That's another sort of Japanese theme one there. There we go. And this one definitely is chunky. This looks more like a sort of Hindu god type of, with a bit of spider claw-like animated hand. Oh, look, there's so many things going on. It's just weird looking, really. Now, this one looks... I saw this one from a distance. What is going on with the proportions with this thing? Look at that. It
is a wee top heavy.
It is a wee top heavy.
Those legs aren't really going to...
I mean, who modelled that? Really? This is one of these miniatures that I'm not going to be spending, a week painting.
I feel like you should, because they've taken the trouble to name it the Mercurian Maculator. And
wow.
I have no idea what a maculator is, but this is it. Maybe it's immaculate.
The immaculate maculator.
It shoots you and you become immaculate.
That's hilarious. It's kind of like a sort of model pose with the feet. Anyway, we won't go into that. This is more like it. This is a bit more chunky. I like this one. Proportions, you see, it's all about proportions. Some of them have much better proportions than the other ones. That's kind of a bit more balanced. Whereas this one kind of isn't. This is another one with weird looking... Look, he looks like... Oh, that's just... No, that's a bad sculpt. I'm just going to say that's bad. I don't know what it is. Looks kind of like a toad man. And we've got a couple of them too. Yeah, that one's a mess. And this one, which is just sort of a creepy woman with fire in her hands.
She's a defiled avatar.
Defiled avatar. Yeah, that's unpleasant. That's weird. Don't like that. Problematic, I'd say. What else have we got in here?
More in the little bag. This is sort of a random packing mode. Some things having their own space and others being...
Well, there's a whole bag of these things. These just look like your bog standard zombie men or something.
Yes, they're castigators.
Castigators.
They come out and say, you've been very bad, you should trip.
Yes. What are you doing out at this time of night? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, you won't miss your mum while this game's around.
What have we got here?
Oh, little turrets.
Oh, I like... Oh, hold on, what's this dude? Look at this guy. It's like a guy on tracks.
He would be a Techron.
Techron, okay. And then we've got this thing, which is like some kind of organic turret of some sort. Which is weird. It's a real mishmash of stuff, isn't it?
It is, and I haven't quite worked out how, without any extra rules or explanation of things, you know how these work. But I guess maybe they just slot seamlessly in because all the information's on the cards and you don't need any extra rules.
Or the information may be in the rule books that we haven't seen yet. There's a whole stack of new tiles in here as well. And these are rather restrained after the last ones.
Quite sedate.
Yes. Yep, this is more like a kind of ruined office block. Oh, I like this. These are kind of nicer than the other ones. I prefer the slightly restrained look. Yeah, these are a bit more post-apocalyptic, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some kind of outdoor maze.
That's a little bit bog standard D&D adventures.
Yeah. this is all right. At least there's no sort of, heavy metal album cover things in the middle. Yep. Oh, look, the heliport there.
And just when you thought it was safe to stay away from.
This looks like mine corridors or something. Mining. Oh, these are good.
Okay, that's
I like
good.
this.
It's a little bit Doom-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this. That's a good set. There's some hit or miss miniatures in there, but whole lot of extra content.
And again, it's another 13 or 14 boards to play on.
Wow.
It's quite a bit of content.
And it hasn't finished yet. Do you realise we've got 2 more of these?
We do.
I don't know about you, Minty, but I'm starting to get a little tired.
No, it's only 2 to go.
Well, we did go out for lunch and we, sat in the sun and had a couple of beers, and it was a very nice, relaxing lunchtime. So I think I've lost a bit of energy. So here we are, the Dark Apostles expansion. What have we got in here? Oh, some rules.
Some
good.
rules.
Okay, this is good. I've got a horrible feeling that other one was missing rules,
At this stage, it does feel like it. I was saying I couldn't work out how, so there may be an email happening.
Yeah, I'll have to check that. If anyone else has got this set and can tell me whether there was supposed to be a rule book in that other set, please let me know. Dark Apostles, okay, that's that. Oh, got some nice big figures here.
And the layout's quite different for this one. Like it doesn't appear to have. Yes, in fact, those are all the minis. There's no minis just mass dropped into one pocket by themselves.
No, well, there's a lot fewer of them, so that's probably why.
Got size and quality here.
Well, size anyway. So what's this thing?
That will be. Okay, so however you would like to pronounce Mauwijhe.
Yeah, that. Okay, then we've got sort of what looks like a kind of Nurgle thing.
That would be Semi.
Semi.
Yes, SEMAI.
Semi-trailer, or... Of course it's got a cleaver. They've got to have a cleaver.
They've got to have a cleaver.
Yep.
At some point, somebody has to chop up the bodies.
What's this thing?
That would be the...
Can't pronounce that one either, can you?
I can't. I don't... LLIAN. Leon?
Yeah, okay.
Needing 2 L's for no apparent reason. I guess Lloyd would understand.
Okay, this is a good figure. This one is
Algaroth.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
A nice little bit of detail down below with the skulls on the base.
Yeah. Oh, I like that figure. See, it's all about the proportion. See, that's in proportion. Even though the guns are ridiculously, stupidly big, look at that. Crazy. But at least it's in proportion to the figure. Kind of like that one.
My advice would be, if you were going to attack this one, attack from the right, not the left.
Brilliant. You're a master strategist, Minty.
He didn't hire me for my looks.
And what is this abomination?
That would be, of course, as everybody knows, Demnagogus.
Oh, of course. Oh, look, I don't even know what's going on there. It's just weird. You notice how miniatures are getting weirder and weirder? I mean, I opened the Tainted Grail once, and there was some really, really weird stuff going on in there.
I haven't even opened my Tainted Grail yet. That's sad. It's sat on the shelf for a bit.
There's some creepy designs in there.
Okay.
This thing is creepy too. So these are the cards which describe... This is interesting. A little bit more background material about each one.
So the one that I thought was Leon is actually Ilion, and that's because they've used a font in here where the uppercase L and uppercase I and a lowercase L are exactly the same.
See, it's boring, isn't it? This is what listening to graphic designers is like, because Minty is also a graphic designer like me, and this is the kind of thing we go on about all the time.
Yeah, don't get me started on the kerning in the manual.
It's outrageous. This looks all quite different from the other stuff. It's some extra cards here.
What's quite nice though is that it does look.
Oh, look at this! It's got the colour illustrations of the creatures. Of this guy on one side.
Is it AI for that particular creature or something?
I don't know. That looks really interesting. And then we've got again Dark Apostle cards or something to do with that. Putrescent Allure. Embodiment of Decay. This is all very Nurgle, isn't it?
Has that got a character? Yes, okay. So,
no, it's not. Oh, yeah, that's that other character, isn't it?
So this one does seem to be different. It has 50 power cards, 10 each for the 5 miniatures that you've seen.
So
they've obviously done... What's quite neat, I've got to say, is that the rules here, in terms of adding to this, is pretty much a single page of information about the power cards that we're looking at, and a couple of other things, and then one page for each of these particular miniatures.
Okay.
So it would add a fair bit of expansion and variability without you needing to read miles and miles of rules. So it's quite neat.
So this introduces a real lot of extra character to the bad guys, basically. Doesn't it?
I like it.
I like it. Let's have a look at the tiles.
The tiles. Do you want to do the noisy unwrapping? There's a bit of a bright green theme coming through here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I see. So we've got, here we go. This has got to be disease and Nurgle, and this has got to be violence. It's kind of very Games Workshop, isn't it? Nurgle and Khorne we've got happening here.
Lots of skeletons and tentacles coming out of walls. Or teeth.
Well, this looks like sort of bile and interior organs and stuff. Oh, it's never about happy things, is it?
Oh, here's a happy one. There we go. It's just some, I think, corpses nailed to a wall or something.
Oh, cheery. Well, it is called Mutant Chronicles. It's not called Daisies and Puppies, is it?
True.
Daisies and Puppies, the board game. Wow. Yeah, well, that's not bad. Well, that expansion looks interesting. I'm excited by that one.
It is nice that they have actually gone down a slightly different path with this expansion as well. Like saying, let's do 5 miniatures only, and let's give them all special powers.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, we got another one?
We have one more. This would be the Doomtrooper. Doomtrooper. You'd think by this stage I'd know what they're called. Doomtrooper bonus pack.
Well, we're standing here surrounded by drifts of shrink wrap as we open the final thing. Oh, actually, there are some other boards over there. We'll look at those in a moment. But this is the last box, the Doomtrooper bonus pack. So this is obviously more stuff for the good guys, who are strangely called the Doomtroopers. Oh, there we go.
So no rules for this one either, but maybe it doesn't need it for this.
Maybe it doesn't need it. Well, I hope I'm not missing anything then. Obviously, they packed it in this strange way because they have to have tiles on the bottom. They've got to fit the tiles in the box. So, very spacious packing. Just a few cards here. Another McBride. Haven't we already had a McBride?
Oh, we did have a McBride.
Maybe this is his brother.
Well, I think it was a woman the last one, so maybe
was it? No,
siblings.
No, it was the guy who looked like...
Okay.
No, anyway, I forget. Pam Afton. She runs the chip shop down the road. Is that a dog?
We got a dog.
I was just talking about puppies and daisies, and look, there's a bloody dog. Why has there always got to be a dog? I'm a cat man myself. Sorry, but there's always... And this thing, what's this? Edward Murdoch, human hero. This is kind of some kind of... What's this? It's like Chilby, isn't it? Is it Chilby? Is that what they call it? Chilby or Chilby or... I don't know. I've never...
Chibi?
Yeah, I've never seen the attraction myself, but there you go. It's kind of cute if you're into that kind of thing. We've got this one here. A muscly dude, very superhero looking. Here is the dog, of course. Got to have a dog. Why have we got to have a dog?
And the dog, I believe, is called Pride.
Pride. Oh. In the name of love.
Better name for a lion, I feel, but...
Yes. This is the McBride dude, I believe, isn't it?
It does certainly appear to be. The one thing I'm finding interesting is the one you had
Look,
here.
I've just got to say it again. Look at those shoulder pads. That's so stupid.
I'm not sure if it's... Is it the size of the shoulder pads or the smallness of his head that's kind of somewhat strange?
Well, it's both, isn't it?
That one there is no card or information for. So, random possible villain?
I have no idea. That looks alright. That's pretty good.
Let's hope that there's not a card missing. And only a few boards in this one.
Yeah, and some very restrained artwork on there.
There's some very detailed stuff going in there that was a little bit like aliens. Or alien, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, these are a bit more restrained. It's strange. 1 minute it's like full on
glowing.
What's the word I'm looking for? Iron Maiden.
Indeed.
Yeah, and the next minute it's kind of post-apocalyptic restrained. So, yeah, a lot of different styles going on. There you go. Now, talking about tiles, we've got some more separately packaged Well, there's no shortage of things for these miniatures to fight on, that's for sure. Some more green glowing... Oh, look, that's actually the ones we got in the other set. We've got a second copy of them for some strange reason. Yeah, we've seen this.
Okay, right.
Yep.
Well, this I managed to repackage them.
Okay, well, for some strange reason, we've got an extra set of those ones.
And the final thing, we may need to make a small apology here because we were complaining about there not being any 3D elements to it.
Oh, hello. Okay, there they are. Well, that's exciting.
So it looks like it has the little cut pieces in the middle. So that
Oh, let's pop this sucker out. Come on, let's do it.
Getting right into it.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, just talked about it towering towards the sky. Let's see that tower.
Oof. So these two slide together, and this is a very flimsy thing. Well, there you have it. That's presumably the thing that goes in the centre of the board. It's huge. There he is.
For scale.
A minty head for scale. So there we go. We were wondering where the 3D central element was, and they've pretty much gone classic. They've done some new artwork, which is a bit more gothic. But yeah, it's big. Look at that.
Just for a sense of scale.
You know, in a way, it's very impressive, but it is just designed to get in the way of your hands, isn't it, as you're moving things around. And you've got to be a bit careful because the top bits are a bit flimsy, aren't they?
They are a wee bit. I don't know whether having any of these will help that out by just squaring it up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Possibly.
Thanks for doing that. That looks good. That's quite spectacular, isn't it?
It's kind of looking.
Wow.
Let's get the full effect.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit excited now. After all this, finally. Wow. Look at that.
We left the best box till last, and it's brought Pete out of his slightly cynical. How long has it been, Pete?
Hey, 4 years and 4 months.
But there's a payoff, and look at it.
Yeah. Okay. That looks fun. I'm beginning to be won over.
And there do seem to be extra little expansion bits.
And I must admit, there is a lot. We have got a lot of stuff. It's obviously taken a long time to make. And oh look, there's little corridors and things. Extra bits to join them together. But wow, that's going to get around this side.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's certainly has a table presence, doesn't it? There you have it, folks, and I think this is the perfect image to go out on after our spectacular, epic unboxing of Mutant Chronicles. And mate, I couldn't have done it without you.
It's been fun.
Thank you.
A heap of fun.
Thank you very much for joining in. I wish I could get you back for every unboxing. It's really nice to have someone hand me all the cards and do all the hard work.
I live to serve.
Now, where's the cover?
The cover.
So there you have it, folks. Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel, finally here. And while I was feeling very cynical when I finally unpacked the box, I'm now thinking, oh, this looks like a bit of fun.
There you go. Siege of the Cynical has turned into Siege of the
Oh,
Citadel.
nice. What a wonderful ending to our unboxing. Well said. Siege of the Cynical has become Siege of the Citadel. Beautiful stuff. Thanks again, Mitty, for being in on this unboxing.
Welcome.
And if you've enjoyed this, of course, there are hundreds and hundreds of other videos on this YouTube channel. If you haven't signed up and subscribed yet, please do so. Make sure you hit the all notifications button when you do it. And go and check out the website, more importantly, at orderofgamers.com. And there you'll find hundreds of rule summaries for all the games that I love, and I think you'll love a whole heap of them too. And you can download them, print them out, laminate them, stick them in your board game boxes, and they'll make it a lot easier for you to learn and play your favourite games. Of course, I'm on all the social media too. Twitter, there's a brand new Facebook channel. It's at EOGamersFB. So make sure if you signed up to the old Facebook page to go to the new one, and please follow it because I had to change it for technical reasons and I've got to make all my old followers up again. So please go and follow that new Facebook page. And of course, don't forget patreon.com/esoteric order if you want to support the Esoteric Order of Gamers, which I'd highly appreciate. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you next time. Minty won't, but he'll be here in spirit, I'm sure.
Indeed.
See you next time. Bye.
See you, folks. Bye.
Oh, just before we go, there's one thing I noticed as I was packing this up. You know, here I've got this big thing that this 3D element you put on the board. There is absolutely no way of storing it. That's the original core box. All the boxes are that size. So that cardboard thing is just something you've got to have kicking around in your room, and there's no way to store it. I think that's a terrible bit of design. Somehow this should have been designed so it folded in half, but it isn't. It's like loose pieces like that.
I think the only solution is to really hang it on your wall as a pure work of art.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, a slight oversight there. We were just, looking at some of the other things that have done this, and they do come in smaller pieces that allow it to fit into the box.
Yep. Design fail. Oh well, back to Siege of the Cynical.